Good day, folks. This is Greg Judy at Green Pastures Farm. Today I opened the gate and are coaxing the bulls down into this brush. We weren't going to graze it. Look at the stick tights on that bull's head. They love stick tight. Some people call it beggar's lice. They love it. It is a legume. It's got a little seed in the middle of it. And actually, it's quite good. I eat it occasionally when they stick on me. The seeds are kind of like having a little treat. Look at the stick tights on that bull's face. Anyway, we weren't going to graze this, but the landowner, he was back here looking at it. He's like, Greg, there's quite a bit of grass and brush back in there. I said, yeah, but it's a pretty small gate. I'll do my best. And so I opened it. I drug the mineral feeder in here, and the bulls are looking at me like, what are you doing? But they're curious critters. There's about, oh gosh, I bet there's 8 or 10 acres in this paddock. And it opens up a little bit after you get on the side of those cedars back in there. But I thought, well, if I drug the mineral feeder in here, that would get them through the gate, just coming to get mineral. Now they're just kind of hanging out. You can tell they're not real hungry. I just gave them a strip out there. My last strip here on the ram farm, they'll be going back to Doug and Joanna's, the normal bull farm. The bulls are like, well, we went down in there, there's not much, but if they follow that fence line, it opens up, and they will. It's kind of funny to watch them, though. If you give them a new area, they just can't help themselves. They got to go check it out. And if I leave, the whole mob will come down in here, and they'll check it out. Well, I tell you what, there's some good yearling bulls in here. These won't be 2 until next year. We don't sell yearling bulls. We let them get to their better potential. At 2 years old, they can breed very effectively, and they can handle quite a few cows. A yearling bull, you could put him on probably maybe a dozen cows, and he might get them bred, and he might not. Probably would, but I don't like pushing young bulls because it hurts their development. They don't grow out. You really push them that first year. They're pushing and shoving and trying to get away from everything. It's funny to watch them, though. They're always going where I go. If I go somewhere, they'll follow me. Especially when they know I'm going to move them, That's what bulls do. I'm going to see if I'm going to show you. I mean, this is a really brushy. The last couple strips here have just been ate up with, look out, bulls. Look out. There you go. It is brushy. Hard to get a four-wheeler through here. Sold our last bull of the year. Macho 017 was sold yesterday. And he's going to a new home up at southern, used to be maybe southwest Iowa. And he's a good one. He's a darn good one. Very, very aggressive breeder, but super, super timid, mild and friendly with people. He doesn't have a mean bone in his body. We don't raise bulls that have an attitude. We had one, which we haven't had to get rid of any now for years, but early on, there was a few that picked their head up and looked at you like, you know what, I think I'd like to whip you. Well, those got their nuts taken off. And it's amazing how it corrects their attitude when you do that. But made steers out of them. You don't use a bull that's got an attitude to breed cows. Because if you do, next thing you know, you're going to have a bull that's going to knock somebody down, could hurt or actually kill someone. So you got a bull with an attitude, take his nuts off. Or sell him, one of the two. But once you castrate them, boy, they kind of mild down quite a bit. Most of them did. So this is the strip that I gave him today. You can see, isn't that all that lush forage in there? It's got everything in it. It's got ironweed, broom sedge, milkweed, stick tight, fescue. There's some summer annuals in there. But the bulls are doing a darn good job, and they look good. They're getting a wide diversity of forages. It's not just all fescue. And I think that's helping us, getting that diversity in them. I know this is just, isn't this rank? Look at that. That's that Ceresia. That's what it is. It's about taking this one area right here. But I noticed before it got mature, the bulls were eating the heck out of it. And they found out that Ceresia actually has it helps fescue. If you're going to get a bunch of Kentucky 31 fescue, it actually helps offset the toxicity of fescue. But you can see it's very mature now. It's got seed coming on it. And yeah, they don't eat it very well when it gets to this stage. And I'm offering them so much of it at one time. So this would be a good place to run goats. Put the goats and the sheep in here, which is exactly what we're going to do. When the bulls come out, we've got our rams. We just don't have enough to make a big den in it, but we're going to put the rams with the billy goats. They're in there with them. And we're going to stick them over here. So I got a new plan with this. We don't have enough critters to eat all that brush right there, and that is autumnale. So we're going to come in here after the bulls trample it down. You can get at it. I'll show you. So that's the before picture, folks. Okay, that's what it looks like before. You can't even find the trunks on that tree. But now watch this. Come over here where we've already grazed it. This was grazed 1 day ago. Check this out. See a little difference there? That's easy to get to. You just part the grass back with one hand and take your electric chainsaw and nail it. And again, the reason I use the electric chainsaw versus a weed eater, I've got a weed eater and I've got all the blades. I've got the brush blade, I've got the saw blade, you name it, I've got it. And all it does is shatter. It strips the bark off the trunk when you cut it. And so when you go to paint it, the bark is not intact and your brush killer does not kill the tree. And then you get to go back the next year and do exactly the same thing again. Folks, over at Doug and Joanna's, we must have had, oh gosh, I would say 3,000 to 4,000 of these. And the ones that we painted and did a good job of painting, they're done. There's nothing coming back. Nothing. And I'm telling you what, there was a place over there on their farm. It was a whole lot thicker than this. And we just were very, very precise, made sure we got every piece of grass back, and took that chainsaw. And you don't you don't want to cut it right off flush with the ground. Because, see, the more, let me pull this back. You want to cut it about right up here, okay? And the reason you do that is it gives you more bark, more basal area for that brush killer to work its way down there. And you know, I don't like chemicals. I really don't, but it is a tool and I'm gonna use it as long as I've got these trying to take and kick me off the farm. You know, we've got 1,900 acres and a lot of that, I'm telling you folks, it's coming. It's coming hard. We could probably use 2,000 goats. Here, look at this. So there's what brush hogging does. Let me show you real close. Okay, that was brush hogged. I didn't get to this farm last year, so it was brush hogged 2 years ago. And all it did, I mean, you know, it killed that little trunk, but look what it did. It made that autumn olive mad. It came back with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 trunks. So you can brush hog it till your face falls off. You're not gonna kill it. And, you know, I wouldn't mind it if it just had 1 clump, but it doesn't stay that way. These things absolutely spread like wildfire. And we've probably got 5,000 of them in here. And we've got some of these too. These are the honey locusts. 2 minutes, so this was a tree. They bulldozed it out, somebody did. And of course, this all came back from the stump. It's lousy in here. And so anyway, I'm gonna come in here, we're gonna cut them. I was gonna grab them all with my grapples after we got the whole farm cut off and make a rabbit hat, stick it down in a draw. But then I thought, you know what? If I've got them cut, autumn olive is a very soft wood. I'm just gonna come in with my brush hog after I get them cut and I'm gonna mulch them. Now, I'm gonna give it time. Probably, I'll cut them, we'll paint them, we'll wait at least 2 weeks. Because see, what you wouldn't want to do is go in here and cut them and paint this basal area and then come in a week later or even 3 or 4 days later and brush hog this whole farm off to chop this up. Because what you're gonna do, you're gonna chop up the trunk that you cut off. And if you chop it up before the brush killer has a chance to actually kill that root, you might have done all that for in vain. So I'm gonna make sure the brush killer has time to do its work. And I do use 1 quart of crossbow to 5 gallons of diesel. So you take a 5-gallon bucket, put 5 gallons of diesel in it, and you dump 1 quart of undiluted crossbow in it. And mix it up, put a lid on it, and then you draw out of that with a cup into another container. Don't carry over 2 inches. 2 inches in the bottom of an oil. I use bar oil, an empty bar oil gallon jug. Just cut the side out of it, leave the handle on it so you got something to hold on to, and put your paintbrush down in there. And it is a wonderful tool for this. But if you put more than 1 inch in there and you accidentally lay your paint jug down and it falls over, you've only lost 1 inch of brush kill. You haven't lost, you know, a quart or a pint or whatever. Them old bulls are following that strip up through here. I was gonna leave that gate shut down there and open it up tomorrow and try and suck them in there. But I thought, you know what? As curious as animals are, I'm just gonna open it today and let them find it. So I put the mineral feeder down in there. And I bet you, tomorrow they'll be in there. Look what they did to this. Holy mackerel. Folks, that's a persimmon tree. The persimmons are taking over. And I don't know what it is. When I was a kid, you just didn't hardly find a persimmon tree. And now there's thousands of them. Something in the biology, I don't know what it is. There's thousands. These are all persimmon trees, every one of these. And the bulls have made life pretty miserable for them, which I'm glad. I don't want them taken over. But I've got a persimmon tree right on that ridge. It must have 10,000 persimmons on it. And I noticed there's none on the ground. The bulls are eating them as they fall off. And they're eating them like chiclets. So with that, I'm gonna get out of here. It's a beautiful, beautiful day. My goodness, it's beautiful. Probably 65, 60 degrees out here. I've got my old trusty insulated shirt over my main shirt. I know it looks bad, folks. That's just the way it is. Look at that. It's all tore up. Jan patched it up for me because she knows I love my shirt. Got my pocket half tore off. I love this shirt. Anyway, I'm going to see a bunch of y'all later this week at the South Pole Field Day. That's going to be in Alabama. And you can go to the South Pole Grass Cattle Association website. And maybe I'll see some of y'all there. It's on this Friday and Saturday. It's the 22nd and the 23rd. And it's going to be a heck of a good day. There's going to be a lot of people there talking South Pole. I'm going to be there doing a presentation and several other speakers as well. So if you want to learn more about South Pole cattle and grazing, I'll see you all in Alabama. Have a good one. Take care.